let's talk about our fall schedule. We are going to transition to the fall training schedule during the first week of the fall semester. So that would be beginning on the 26th. And then our program will end, I believe it's the week right before Thanksgiving week. So that would be November 22nd. First, let's look at the Fit Club 2023 schedule. I want to show you what we did last year, and then I'll show you what we're doing differently this year, and I'll explain why we're doing some things a little bit different. Last year, we trained on Tuesdays and Thursdays together. So I coached the sessions. We met at Founders Gym over lunch, and we did our 2 strength training days. Those days, we had a large group, so we split the schedule. So half the group showed up right at noon, and then I ran them through a warm-up and got them started on their workout. And then the other group showed up, I think 15 to 20 minutes later. And the warm-up was on the board, the marker board. They would run through it. I would help if they needed me to, and then I would make sure that they got through their strength training portion. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays were independent cardio days that were just done whenever or wherever the people wanted to on campus on those days, and everything was recorded on the app. We are not doing that this way for your group. Let's look at what your schedule is going to look like in the fall. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, we will meet at Founders Gym from 12 to 12:45. We are just going to have one group. We have small enough numbers where I don't think that we need to split things up this year. So we'll see how that goes. So we're going to start promptly at 12 p.m. If you are rolling in a little bit late here and there, don't worry about it. You'll just hop right in on the warm up and go along with us. If you think this is going to be a problem with your schedule, let's try and deconflict that sooner rather than later. Now, I realize some of you are maybe professors and you have classes during that time. Unfortunately, this is the only option. So you'll have to get those strength training or get those sessions in on your own at another time in the day, and then log it on the app. If you're not using the app for whatever reason, or you can't use the app, I would prefer that you're shooting me emails, and we'll talk about that in person. If you're not going to be using the app and you're not going to be at in-person sessions in the fall, let's talk offline and work that out. But for everyone else, I would like you there in person. That's the goal. So if this is a conversation that you need to have with your boss or your department, let's start having that conversation now. And if you feel like they're not on board and you feel like it would be helpful for me to have a conversation with them, I can do that. Or there are some VPs who want to see this program succeed, so we could kind of kick it up the chain to them, and maybe they could have a persuasive and diplomatic conversation about why this is important. I understand that many people will not be able to be at these Tuesday, Thursday sessions 100% of the time, but that's when we're training as a group. And I would really like for you to strive to make that a priority and build it into your schedule. You'll notice that Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays are independent days. So this has not changed a lot comparing 2023 to 2024, other than the fact that we're only going to have one group instead of two. The big changes are in what we're going to be doing. So on your independent day on Monday, that's a cardio session. And on your independent day on Friday, that's a cardio session. The cardio sessions will be very similar. I may start putting in some in it as an alternative to the steady state cardio that you're doing now, the 30 minutes of moderate intensity. I may start programming other options for interval training, but they're not going to be that creative, right? So it's still going to be 30 minutes of cardio, and it's going to be something like work hard for 2 minutes, recover for 2 minutes, 2 minutes on, 2 minutes off, 3 minutes on, 3 minutes off. So it's going to be interval training in that regard. But maybe that'll help some of you if you're not already doing that, or give you another option. So what are we doing on Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays? Tuesday will be a strength session with me in Founders Gym, as we normally do. So for the lift, Lower body, it's going to be some type of squat or deadlift, and then it's going to be some type of push. On Wednesday, you're going to hit back-to-back strength days. That's when you're going to do your Bravo day. So that's going to be more of your unilateral lower body stuff. So splits, squats, lunges, step ups, single leg Romanian deadlifts, things like that. And then your pulls. And then on Thursday, we're going to hit a CrossFit workout. So one of these strength days, this is the big difference. Last fall, I was in charge of strength. I ran both of those sessions. This fall, I'm only running one strength session. The other strength session is on you. Last fall, we dropped all the CrossFit workouts after summer. This fall, we're keeping them in, and I'm going to run it because you guys are doing really well with them. And we did not, I think when you look at our numbers, everyone, as far as the physical fitness test, strength numbers went up. And they always go up because most people don't strength train before the program. We put you in here, you strength train regularly, and I'm there every day when you're strength training for the most part. So, of course, those numbers are going to go up. But cardio numbers don't tend to improve that much. And that is not, you notice that on your physical fitness test, that is common with everyone, all my groups, because I don't sit there and watch you do cardio. And I just don't take charge of that. Well, we're going to do it a little bit differently. So I don't want to sit there and watch you do cardio in the fall. So we're going to do CrossFit together. So it'll be resistance training for the most part, but at a higher intensity. So we're going to jack your heart rate up and really jack up the intensity with those workouts. So I'm going to keep you going on that. So the middle of your week is going to be challenging. Back-to-back strength day followed by a CrossFit workout. With maybe this Friday session is more of a recovery session, and that Monday session is one of those that you're getting ramped up for the week. Why Monday, Friday? Monday, Friday are the most commonly missed days. So if people take days off, it's usually Mondays and Fridays. And you can do cardio anywhere. So I expect you to keep getting that in on your own, even if you don't have access to a gym. Now, the big question that I always get is, what if I want to change around the days? So what if I know I'm going to be busy on Wednesday, so I want to move that strength session, that Wednesday strength session to Friday, or hit it on a Monday, or even move it to a Saturday? You can do that. You can do it in the app. So if you, let's say it's Friday and you haven't done the strength session from Wednesday. If you go back to your calendar on Wednesday and you start that workout, the app will ask you, do you want to change it in your calendar? And you can say yes, and it's just going to move it to Friday when you're actually doing it. So you do have that option. I discourage people from mentally accepting that as an alternative, because here's what tends to happen. Everyone has good intentions, but we kick the can down the road so far that we can't recover. So for example, it's Monday, you're busy, you don't really want to go do cardio on your own, so you say, I'll get it in on Saturday. You come work out on a Tuesday with me, Wednesday comes and maybe you don't do the strength workout. So you're like, well, what I'll do is maybe Saturday I'll go in and I'll hit my strength workout, and then I'll just follow up with my cardio workout because I'll have plenty of time. You come in, you train on Thursday, something happens on Friday, and then all of a sudden now it's Saturday, you don't want to train, something else comes up, and you've missed 3 training days, and maybe you sandwich and you cram in as much as you can on the weekend, and then you're not fresh for the next training week. Usually people just don't do it. So what I've noticed is that when people get in the habit of rearranging their schedule and skipping days, eventually what that leads to is missed training sessions because it's hard to make up. So what I would encourage you to do is start to look at this schedule and think about it. How are you going to make this work? And start to program to the best of your ability these training sessions into your daily calendar. Now, there are going to be times when this just won't work. Kids are going to get sick. Cars are going to break down. Bosses are going to have last minute deadlines that you have, things that you have to do. I get it. And in those circumstances, absolutely switch things around, make the schedule work for you. But if it's just a convenience thing because you're not attempting to plan this out, then it just doesn't work as well. It works for a while, but ultimately it doesn't seem to be sustainable for most people. So check out the schedule and try and make this work. Try and build this in. Another question that you might have is about the CrossFit workouts being put in the app. Because to this point, I haven't been doing that. I'm going to start doing that. So I'll start putting the CrossFit workouts in the app. And to the best of my abilities, I'll put videos in there of the exercises, maybe even videos of me doing it. So if you, just like you normally would for a strength session, you should be able to click on that dark rectangle and see videos. I'll still do the workouts ahead of time and put it on social media and on YouTube. So you'll have access to that as well. It should facilitate training if you can't be there. And this is again, I don't think that training on your own is an equivalent alternative. It can be for some people, but I find it very rare that people get the same benefit out of individual training as they do with group training. So do your best. Now, what if you can't make it work? What if you're sitting there right now saying, I can't see how I can make this work? There is no better time to run this experiment than right now. I think a lot of times when people want to make changes in their health or in their fitness, they look for the right time. And the right time usually is, during this period of the summer, I'm going to have a lot less going on. I'll have more time to dedicate to it. I would argue that's the wrong time. It would seem like it was the right time, but the problem is that it's easy when you have time to add in something new. But then what happens when things get busy again? It just falls to the wayside because not having time is the norm, right? So we have to figure out a way, if this is important to you, we have to figure out a way to make this work when things are busy. So this fall, if you're looking at it and you're like, oh, I don't know how I'm going to make this work. Good. I'm glad. Think that. Worry about it. Think about it. And let's talk about it. And let's experiment. You're going to fail at some point, and that's fine. Having a failure, if you learn from it, I would argue is not really a failure because you plan something out, it doesn't work, you dissect that and you think, okay, well, what could I do next week? I'll do something different. Not the same thing because I can't expect that's going to work, but maybe let's try something different to make this work. This is all an experimental process for you as an individual. The best time to do this is now, especially if it feels like it's not the best time, because you have a support system. You have an app, you have a coach, you have a team, you have multiple coaches. You and the college is paying for it. And ideally your boss is on board with this. So I would argue that there's not a better time to test this than right now because this is real life. You've built a bunch of confidence, you've built a bunch of capacity, you've built a team, you have some relationships. Preseason is coming to an end. It's time to get in. It's game day pretty soon. So let's start to prepare for that. And if that's going to take some preparation over the next couple weeks, let's start to look at it and think about it and talk about it. And if you need help as an individual, let me know. All right. That's it for this video. I will see you guys at training sometime soon. All right.